Do you still remember the fairy tales you heard as a child? The Sandman, the magical creatures living in the sky? What if they were actually real and living outside in space? To figure out, let's join Peter on his adventure to the moon. Peter is a young boy who loves space travel. He believes in science, while his younger sister Anne is totally the opposite. She lives in a world full of imagination about mythical creatures. Anne has a heart of gold. She always prays about his brother achieving his dream of becoming an astronaut like their father. Yeah, their father was a great space scientist. Unfortunately, he died during a space mission and wasn't able to fulfill his dream of landing on the moon. Peter is not the only one there who lost a loved one. In the field outside his house, there is a little beetle called Zoomsman. A few years ago, he used to live happily with his swarm. He had also found the love of his life and gotten married. Soon after that, a bunch of farmers attacked the farm. They start killing down all the bugs. Zoomsman ran away for his life. He wanted to save his mates, and there was only one way left: the Night Fairy. To reach out for her help, Zoomsman jumped into the lake right under the full moon. In a blink of an eye, he got shot out into space. There he met the Night Fairy and brought her back to his farm. She helped him and threw the farmers to the moon. Accidentally, she threw away Zoomsman's arm and his wife along with the farmers. Zoomsman started crying at the loss. The Night Fairy excused herself. She couldn't help anymore. If Zoomsman wants to save his wife, he needs to find a kind-hearted human and fly with him to the moon. It's been years since that incident. Zoomsman hasn't found that special human yet. Other bugs keep making fun of his life story and call it fake. The poor Zoomsman hasn't lost hope, and luckily his wait will be over soon. Peter has just moved into this place with his mother and little sister. He's going to join the new school and wishes to make new friends. However, it will be difficult when his clumsy sister is around. While walking towards the school, they encounter a bunch of neighborhood boys. They try to mock Peter, and Anne can't take it. She starts to babble about how great his brother is. This triggers the street boys, and they ask Peter to shoot at a poor insect. Peter can't hurt an innocent creature and misses the shot intentionally. It hits the bees, and they attack the street boys. Peter takes this as a chance to run away. However, he's not happy with Anne at all. In anger, he wishes to be able to send Anne as far as the moon. The bug he saved was Zoomsman. He's happy to find the kind human he was always looking for. He flies to Peter's house and enters his room through the chimney. Anne wakes up by the noise and meets the talking beetle. She hears all of his stories and rushes to wake up his brother. Peter doesn't believe whatever she says and goes back to sleep. Anne decides to go on this adventure by herself. She jumps out of the window and follows Zoomsman. Peter gets up after a while and rushes to catch her sister before she does something stupid. She reaches the lake and jumps into the reflection of the full moon. Peter starts to panic and looks for a way to pull her out. Suddenly, a burst of water shoots Anne toward the sky. To save her, Peter does the same and gets thrown out into space. There, he hits a couple of artificial satellites and drops on a place made of soft and fluffy clouds. There, he meets an old man who is peeking at the earth. He introduces himself as the Sandman, whose job is to put all the kids to sleep on time. Peter can't believe his eyes. He assumes it to be a dream, but he still wants to save his sister. Meanwhile, Anne and Zoomsman have landed in a different zone called the Starry Meadow. This place looks like a fairy tale. Zoomsman has grown in size due to the magical atmosphere. There's also a bunch of cute little girls walking toward a building. They are the shooting stars going to attend their school. After graduation, they will be assigned a child with whom they will spend the rest of their lives. Anne is hearing all this with amusement, but her happiness will not stay for long. The clouds start to thunder, and an unknown villain attacks the Starry Meadow. When Peter and the Sandman reach there, everything is already destroyed. They could only find Zoomsman. He tells about the kidnapping of shooting stars and Anne. Peter has to save his sister and return to Earth before sunrise, otherwise no one will be able to go back. The Sandman investigates the crime scene and finds a few moonstones. The girls have been taken to the moon. Remember the cruel farmers who were thrown out by the Night Fairy a few years ago? They are the ones who abducted the innocent girls and tortured them with creepy moon poodles. Meanwhile, the Sandman rushes to get his broken vehicle, but just with a little magical sparkle, the sleigh becomes brand new. Afterward, the Sandman calls the huge butterflies which carry them toward the moon. They need the Night Fairy's permission to land on the moon, but she's busy with the banquet of nature spirits. The Sandman is a nature spirit as well, but to attend the banquet, he needs to compete with the other spirits in the Milky Way race. They are already late. The Sandman rushes his sleigh and reaches the first milestone, the Parmesan Desert, followed by the Great Canyon. The spirit of wind, called the Storm, is leading the race. He won last year too, but this time his luck leaves him soon. The spirit of rain gets ahead of him, but the spirit of lightning is right behind too. She throws a painful thunder at the rainy robin and snatches away the lead. The Sandman is moving forward gradually. He's looking for a chance to get to the top 3 at least. He's just a step away from victory, but then he suddenly falls asleep. Peter starts to panic and tries driving the sleigh. He asks for Zoomzaman's help, but the coward beetle refuses and plays dead. Poor Peter tries his best, but fails eventually. They are knocked out of the race while the other participants qualify for the banquet. Peter gets really angry at the irresponsible behavior of his mates. Despite the bad luck, he still wants to meet the Night Fairy and request her permission. They reach the entrance, but the guards don't let them in. Peter uses some of the Sandman's magical sand to put one of the guards to sleep, but still can't get in the palace. They must find another way. Peter jumps on the trees, and Zoomzaman and the Sandman follow his lead. The second guard is coming after them too. Peter hits him away with a ball and saves his mates. They can use the branches to climb up to the window. Zoomzaman is afraid of falling down, then he remembers he can actually fly. The banquet has been set up and all the guests have joined. The Night Fairy welcomes them warmly and serves tomato soup. Peter is seeing this all from the window. Zoomzaman gets impatient and pushes Peter aside to watch the banquet. They lose balance and fall on dinner. The Lightning Witch wants to punish them, but fortunately the Night Fairy is kind enough to listen to Peter's request. She understands the whole situation and grants him permission for traveling to the moon. She also offers the help of her loyal companion, the Great Bear. It's definitely great in size. Meanwhile, Anne and the Shooting Stars trick the kidnappers and leave the factory. They get stopped by the poodles, but Anne has a backup plan. She throws stones for the dogs to fetch and buy enough time to run away. Unfortunately, she trips on her way and falls inside a moonhole. A long slide takes her to the secret hideout of the kidnappers' leader, who's also known as the Moon Man. Despite being a nature spirit, the Lightning Witch is having a relationship with a bad guy like Moon Man. She hates the Night Fairy and wants to destroy her palace. Their plan is executing smoothly as the moon cannon will be ready soon. It will have enough power to destroy the palace, and then Moon Man will take over the universe. The Lightning Witch keeps the Moon Man updated about the recent happening. She also warns him of Peter's arrival. Anne gets happy after hearing about her brother. She wishes to meet him soon, and together they will stop the Moon Man. Inside the cave, she also meets Zoomzaman's wife. Mrs. Zoomzaman is still waiting to unite with his beloved husband once again. Anne feels sorry for her, but there's no time to get sad. The Moon Man is informed about Anne's escape, and he sends his man to catch her. Meanwhile, Peter is getting ready for his journey. The nature spirits give him their amulets, which can be used to call them in need. Afterward, they get on the giant bear, who starts jumping on the huge stones. It glides through a starry path and hits away the meteors that were blocking their way. Soon after the magical journey, they reach the moon. This moment reminds Peter of his late father. Today he's going to land on the moon on his father's behalf. Now he must hurry towards Moon Mountain as her sister is in great danger. The Moon Man has gathered all the shooting stars and asks which one is Anne. The sweet shooting stars try to save their friend, but Anne gets caught soon. The Moon Man locks up Anne and Mrs. Zoomzaman in the prison. He's also keeping an eye on Peter and orders his men to attack the intruders with moon poodles. The Sandman puts the first poodle to sleep, but he can't handle more. Peter suggests hiding inside the old spaceship lying nearby. The kidnappers can't see them and fly away. Zoomzaman and the Sandman start turning on the ship. They have decided to leave everyone behind and save themselves. Sometimes we have to accept defeat. Peter gets really sad over the circumstances. He doesn't want to leave without her sister. Peter is always bullied by his schoolfellows, the same way Zoomzaman is bullied by the other bugs, and the Sandman is looked down upon by the nature spirits. They are always considered losers and worthless. This is the only chance they got to prove themselves. Peter's words motivate his mates, and they agree to keep fighting till the end. They find an electric car nearby and use it to drive around the moon. Zoomzaman has brought a fiddle along with him and starts playing his favorite tune. Mrs. Zoomzaman recognizes the sound right away and starts playing it on her harmonica. Zoomzaman gets really overwhelmed and they follow the music. Soon they reach where Anne is captured. The car brakes aren't working and it jumps right inside the prison. After years of separation, the beetle couple has finally united. Anne is also happy to meet her brother. Peter wants to return to Earth as soon as possible, but Anne can't leave while the universe is in danger. They must save the world from the evil Moon Man. The moon cannon is ready to operate, and the poodles have reached there too. Peter calls the nature spirits for help, and they all come over except the storm. Zoomzaman and his wife distract the Lightning Witch and let Peter run to stop the cannon. Anne and the Sandman reach near the shooting stars, but like always, the Sandman falls asleep at this crucial moment. The rainy robin is captured by the Moon Man, and other nature spirits are stuck with the poodles. The whole matter is left in the hands of Peter. He reaches the controls, but the Moon Man warns him to stay away. He also offers Peter to join hands with him and become his son. This gives Peter a clever idea. He asks the Moon Man about what benefits he will get through the partnership and what will be given to the Lightning Witch. This makes the Moon Man speak the truth. He admits that he was only using the Lightning Witch and never actually loved her. The lightning is standing right behind and hears everything. She gets really angry and captures the Moon Man inside a Thunderdome. However, it's too late. The cannon has been shooted. Everyone crosses their fingers. Luckily, it misses the target and the Night Fairy is saved, but she's really angry at the damage. She flies to the moon and punishes the Moon Man by sending him to Mars. She also punishes the Lightning Witch for grouping up with the rival. Now she can't use her thunder for 2 months and must hand her amulet to Peter so he can call for help whenever he needs it. The Night Fairy also returns Zoomzaman's arm and sends his treehouse back to Earth. The Sandman thanks Peter and Anne for their hard work and puts them to sleep. The kids wake up in their bedroom and assume that the whole adventure was just a dream. Suddenly they find the Lightning Witch's amulet and also meet Zoomzaman again. It wasn't a dream. They flew to the moon and back. The neighborhood boy tries to bully them again, but now they can get help from the Lightning Witch. You don't have to be strong to do something big, you just have to be brave enough.